Your cheap gym offers are killing profit margins and making it impossible for you to scale or make your money back on ads. This is the number one reason why most gyms are now struggling to make money with Facebook ads, even if they used to have success in the past. And I'm going to explain to you in this video why most of the ads agencies can't help you and why there's just like a Facebook apocalypse across the board with meta advertising. I'm going to show you the old way it was done and the new way that studios have adapted to that is still working really well, and what these guys are doing to crush Facebook ads. So the first thing to think about here is that there are higher CPLs across the board. So if you run Facebook ads, you probably know CPL stands for cost per lead. And this is one of the fundamental metrics that we need for a successful ad campaign. And the CPLs on Meta have traditionally been super cheap, like $5, $10. I've been advertising for over 12 years, filling gyms and studios with Facebook ads. And I remember back in 2012, we could get leads for $1 each. Today, and every year that goes by, as I've been teaching and predicting for over a decade, these CPLs will keep going up in price. And that's happening because more competitors are coming onto the market and it's getting more saturated. As more businesses, not just gyms, but other businesses who want your target audience are competing and paying Meta to have their advert shown on that finite, limited newsfeed, Facebook drives the price up for everyone. So the only way to succeed with ads is going to be able for you to spend more. That's the only way to do it. But higher CPLs are exposing weak gym economics. And that's what has really been unplugged and exposed in so many gyms and ads agencies today. So the goal is not to get cheap leads anymore, right? If your ads agency or if you are obsessed with how to get cheap leads, or how can we get our leads cheaper, or how can we get leads at the same price we got them 5 years ago, you're going to lose, right? The game has shifted, and I'm going to show you why and what to do instead. So basically, here's the old way of advertising. And again, we used to do this too many years ago because the environment of Facebook ads was conducive for this. But things have changed and your business has to change with it if you still want to rely on Facebook or Meta ads as a way to consistently get clients. So back in the past, we could run free trials or cheap, low-cost offers. Think of bait and switch challenges where people pay but they get their money back, or a free trial or a low barrier trial like a 21 days for $21 kind of thing. And a lot of gyms are still offering this, but they're struggling to market now because ads have got more expensive and they're unable to make the money back. Now, the first problem with this is that offering these kind of offers attracts low upfront commitment. So you're going to attract price shoppers. You're going to attract people that are looking for a bargain, looking for a discount, looking for a trial, just to kind of dip their toe in the water. And you're going to get low quality people who are a poor fit for your business. That's the first problem, regardless of advertising. That's the first problem of using these kind of offers. And so because you're going to get low quality, less committed people like this, you're going to have lower retention and high churn rate, even if you do close them, even if you do make money on your Facebook ads. Because that's what some people say. Some people say, hey, I've still got cheap advertising, leads are still cheap in my area because I have no competition. Well, even if that is the case, if we take Facebook ads aside for a second, you still don't really want to run this kind of thing on the front end because, again, it's just going to cause you more of a cost on the back end. Okay, so clients will leave early and you have to do more work to keep filling those spaces, and it doesn't really benefit you. Now, when we bring Meta ads back into the mix, this is where most gyms are now struggling because they have a higher cost per lead and they have a lower LTV, lifetime value. LTV means the average amount of money you make per client in their lifetime with you or the duration they stay with you. Now, if they have low retention, high churn, that means the LTV is not very big and not very long. So if you're now paying $20 a lead and you're selling a $20 program, you can see immediately the economics don't work in your favor. And even if you do close a couple of sales, those clients probably are not going to last very long. So it's going to be very hard to liquidate your ad spend. And that's the goal of advertising, is to break even as fast as possible when acquiring the customer. So many gyms and studios now are in this constant uphill battle where they're always trying to replace clients. They're fighting higher ad costs. If they do somehow scrape by and just about make their ads money back, they end up just losing those clients anyway because they were low quality to start with. So you're going to end up stuck, stressed, and unprofitable in your fitness studio. So we have solved this problem and changed how we do things. And we implemented this a few years back. We really saw this coming. We knew that ad costs were going to be, or we knew that our model at the time was going to be unstable as ad costs increased. So we used to charge for a 6-week program, we would charge about $200, $300. But we realized, again, as lead costs going up, that would not be sustainable. So we pivoted things around, we changed our offer, changed our sales structure, and now we are able to double or even triple our prices for the same program, and therefore continue to keep liquidating our ad spend and keep making a profit on the front end sale. So the new way, this is what we call the premium front end model. So what we've done now for group training and personal training studios, we have now changed the front end offer. So you want to come up with an offer that is premium, results driven, beats every other competitor in your area, and you can charge somewhere between $497 to $697 for this. And this is the price range that we see is now still able to liquidate those ad costs, and you still make a great profit on the front end. So if your customer acquisition cost is now $200 on average, then that's not going to work if your offer only sells for $200. You would just break even and there's no profit there. However, if you now spend $200 to acquire a customer, but you're making $500 to $700 back immediately, then you now have a scalable model. Also, this price point and the nature of the program is designed to filter for the right kind of clients. So you want transformation buyers. These are people that want a transformation, not a trial, right? They come in, they know they need help, they know they need to do something differently, they trust your expertise, and they're willing to pay for it. Of course, that's going to give you then better retention and lower churn. These clients, we saw a shift immediately, and we were able to work with half the number of clients who paid double the amount of money and were a pleasure to work with, would have way stronger commitment, better results, and that means a stronger lifetime value, right? They would stay longer, they would bring their friends, they would buy other things from us, and they were just much more a pleasure to work with. And so when you have a stronger lifetime value, when you know that you're going to pay $200 to acquire a customer, and that customer is going to pay $600 upfront for the first 6 weeks, then they're going to pay $400 a month after that, and they're going to buy supplements from you, and they're going to refer their friends who are equally high value. So then you know that basically you're going to make a 10 to 20x return on that advertising investment. And then it's easier to scale your ads profitably. And then that gives you sustainable, predictable growth. So you can start building a real business where your recurring revenue compounds every single week. And that's what we're doing with studios everywhere, where the typical results for the semi-private studios or group studios we plug this into, they start growing now by 3 to 5 new high-paying clients every week like clockwork. And so that allows us to build and build and build, and allows us to keep spending on Facebook ads. We can outspend all our competitors because we're able to pay more to acquire the customer, and that's why we always win. So while the losing gyms, their obsession is trying to get the cheapest CPL and pay less for a lead, we have asked, how can we actually spend more for a lead and still make profit? And that's the mindset shift and the strategy shift that's going to set you apart from competitors. So again, we pivoted. At the time, we had 15 studios, and that's when we put this into place a few years ago. We doubled our prices. We kept a 70% close rate at the higher prices. And now again, I've installed this system into studios worldwide. So that's the playbook there, guys. If you want more help setting this up, comment below. So you can see below, guys, there's a workshop I recorded recently for my clients in our elite network. And I've put the recording below. You can grab the recording, and it's going to go into what kind of premium offer we have, what we include, what the sales process looks like, and what the overall acquisition system is. And you can check that out below.